Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HHW Show podcast, the hard hitting wrestling show where we give you all the wrestling entertainment business around. And yes, with Hector V in the house, big shout out to Frank once again. He's committed to other things, but we're hopeful that he'll be back next week as we get closer to WrestleMania 41. Exciting, man. It's
You,
exciting.
it is
Storyline.
exciting. I call me old, call me senile, but why am I just realizing that night two is on Easter?
Is it really?
Yes,
I didn't
April
even look
20th.
at I didn't. Oh yeah, because they're in Las Vegas,
Right,
and because of the Final Four that's happening on the first weekend of April,
right,
they
right,
wanted to attract more people in Las Vegas. That was the reason.
right.
There was so much going on. Remember, we got
Hmm.
baseball season starting. You
Yep.
got the Final Four of college basketball,
Right.
both men and women. So there's so much attraction in sports that that's the reason why they pushed the WrestleMania 41 later. But you're right, the weekend of Easter, and I mean, how many of them were gonna go be praying that Sunday on Palm Sunday? Saying like, "Hey, what's
Or is
going
there
on here?"
is there going to be any hidden Easter eggs that we don't know? Ooh,
Oh, nice one. I
I
like
like
that.
it.
Yes. And speaking about some hidden figures, who knows? Maybe we get the final one of The Rock that day. You never know.
Mm,
That
right,
golden egg, it might be very special.
right.
Yes. But big shout out to Mr. Kirk. That's right. Because Kurt is phenomenal. And I'm going to tell you why. Because on Sunday, this Sunday, March 23rd, will be Wrestling with Character. And its theme is called Shenanigans. That's right, Springtime Shenanigans. And that is sponsored by Ken's Cards. Pro wrestling like you've never experienced. They got sketch comedy, they got action packed wrestling. The sound and visual effects is phenomenal. There's a lot of singing and dancing. And of course, the most important part of this is that the audience do participate. Take it from me, I have not missed a show. So if you're in my area in New Britain, Connecticut, or anywhere close to it, all right, go on www.wrestlingwithcharacterlive.com and order your tickets. And it's featuring former WWE superstar, the real one, formerly known as Enzo Amore. That's right. All right. I mean, look, I'm even in shock that Enzo will be here on Sunday at the VFW 511 and Wrecking Ball. I mean, all these stars are going to be at this venue. And I'm going to tell you what, it is worth going. So please, we're going to be broadcasting this throughout this podcast. Uh, Wrestling with Character, Springtime Shenanigans with formerly known WWE superstar Enzo Amore as the real one. And again, sound effects, visual effects, singing and dancing, audience participation, and much, much more. As soon as you walk in, okay, you are already in the zone. So go on wrestlingwithcharacterlive.com and order your tickets today. All right. And again, once again, we'll go ahead and broadcast this again later. But man, I just got over the phone. He's already packed up his stuff. He's getting everything ready for the VFW 511, right? He's getting all his peoples together. And I'm telling you, Sunday is going to be an awesome evening. And speaking about weekend of awesomeness, soon enough, we will have WrestleMania 41.
It is awesome. I mean, this the last two WrestleManias, 39 and 40, was just epic with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, and now we see another superstar coming down, and John Cena is like, wow, we're just getting all, and to think that we're in Las Vegas. Last year we was in Philadelphia, now we're in Las Vegas. These big cities, they're doing big things, and WWE, they know what they're doing, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Look, they know what they're doing, and SummerSlam is going to be at MetLife Stadium, which is also a 2 night event too. So there's just so much going on in year 2025, and of course it has to be because this is the world tour of John Cena's farewell as he seeks for retirement. But speaking about John Cena, that is our first segment of the night. John Cena dismisses the WWE universe. I mean, he went all out. And I'm just wondering, was it really how he felt throughout his time in the WWE? Like, were the fans that like mad evil towards John Cena? Did we see the good and the bad? I mean, we don't know exactly what every superstar goes through, right?
Right.
But could this make sense? Not only just him, but many superstars going through a lot of stuff daily.
Everybody has their own personal things that they got to go through in life, and
Mhm.
also we also go through things in the workplace. You know what I'm saying? Do we know how to separate the two? Um, and so I don't know. This with John Cena, if this was something that's been bothering him for over 2 decades, he sure knew how to cover it up very
Mm.
well, you know. And when we think about all the times that, if we could go back and really analyze when they started, dividing the crowd as far as let's go Cena sucks,
Mhm.
it's like, either you love him or you hate him. There's no in between with John Cena. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I've always told you that I respect the character. I respect the man, but the character I never did like. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
What he did outside the ring, I'm all for. Okay, thumbs up. But as the character John Cena, I was never a fan of John Cena. I respect him, but I was never a fan. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm. Listen, I was a big fan. Okay.
mhm,
When I had moved to Georgia, I believe it was in 2005, right? I think the year later, I know there was a time where John Cena got hurt, right? Yeah, I think he had a shoulder surgery, and Randy Orton was on the platform,
mhm,
and it was
mhm,
the rivalry of Randy Orton and Chris Jericho. Okay, and anyways, they were coming to Atlanta, and I had a cousin of mine that worked for WWE, and she didn't know that some of her family members were big fans, and that was myself and my son. And next thing you know, she was like, "Listen, I'm gonna send you some tickets." But little did I know that I was gonna get two small care packages, and in that care package was a CD of John Cena, and of
mhm,
course my son named Sammy. Which, if you guys follow, when he made that announcement, John Cena made the announcement. I was on a podcast that night with him, and he explained how much he loved John Cena because he followed him, right? He listened to his words, and to this day, hustle, loyalty, and respect, all that good stuff. And he found his poster, and we were like, oh, it's just I thought it was a generic poster, right?
mhm.
But it wasn't. Like, he literally says, "Sammy, good luck to whatever." Well, I don't know what little message, and he signed it. And I'm like, "Oh my god!" First of all, it said Sammy. It's his name, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" Like, he really personalized this poster, and I was like, "Sam, whatever you do, you got to protect it. All right, we're gonna frame it. Never, ever lose it." Okay, and he still got it to this day, which is awesome. And I'm like, "Wow, if he could do that." And then knowing his stories of what he's done, I was like, man, I'm impressed. I really am. Okay. But I mean, there's documentaries of he's signing everything by hand. I was like, that's straight up dedication.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, the Wish Foundation, like, he inspires so many little ones, right? But when you say things like, oh, well, in the ring and stuff like, well, you know what? It was driven for him to be that way. Okay. How many times have we watched John Cena and most of the time he gets his butt kicked most of the time, and then he does 1 2 moves and boom, he wins. Right? It seems that
Mhm.
way, and that's why people say, "Oh man, he sucks" and stuff like that. But maybe you know his deal is you're gonna try to get over. He's helping other superstars. And I think he's done that throughout his whole entire career. Yeah, he had to change his gimmick. He had to do this. We heard stories about what was it that when he started rapping, that he had a feeling he was going to get fired. Then he came up with that, and then all of a sudden everything skyrocketed. I get it, and that's good. It showed us that you have to improve yourself, right, to stay in the
Right.
business, and
Yeah.
that's what we have to do in life, right? But I think one, of course, realistically, he's pulling this off because he couldn't do it with Vince McMahon. Now he has an opportunity to do something. So that way, when he retires, he doesn't have to say, "Oh man, I wish I'd have done this. I wish I'd done." He's
Right.
put it all on the cards. He put everything on the table, and I
Yeah.
applaud that. I really do.
No, you got to leave all your chips on the table. If this is your last tour, you know what I'm saying, your farewell tour, you wants to go out with the bang and do it the right way.
Hmm.
Okay. You know, I mean, I think the only time that I really seen John Cena legitimately get booed as a face was during ECW's One Night Stand in New York City.
Because
You know,
Ron
where
Van Dam.
right, he had to defend the WWE title. And I mean, whether you're a Cena fan or not, I think it was 100% assurance that he was going to lose that night. There was no way he was walking out of there with that title. It was what was best for business, and you see how the fans were that night. But that does not define who John Cena is and was, and ever will be. I'm taking that from Bret Hart. You know what I'm saying? John Cena is going to be one of the GOATs of all times.
Right.
It depends. It doesn't matter what my feelings is as a fan of towards him. What he's shown me as a fan, he has my respect. So he's going to go down as one of the greatest of all times. And so if he
Hmm.
makes this ultimate heel turn, okay, we seen that before, you know, the
Yeah, with Hulk
greatest
Hogan.
American hero, Hulk Hogan.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we did not see that coming. We did not see this one coming with John Cena. And John Cena could say, "You can't see me for real. You did not
Yeah.
see that coming." You know.
I'm glad. I'm happy how you put that because I'm with seeing Punk. Like we can see you now. We can see you as a heel. But you're
Right.
right. We never saw that coming in there. And I never would have thought that he will like collaborate with The Rock.
Right. Yeah.
Right. You and I would think like, well, who's gonna break the tiebreaker? Because it's 1-1 in WrestleMania, right?
Well,
And now they're together.
let's just say 1.5 to 1 because he did rock bottom John Cena when he came out to help Cody Rhodes for the title. Yeah, I'm just saying
Ah,
he
get
took a
out
rock.
of
He
here.
took a rock bottom.
Get
So
out of here.
before the
You
Rock
gotta
got
put
choked,
a you gotta put a percentage in there, man. Get out of here with that crap.
there's a point
Ah,
five. Hey.
point 0.5. I give you point 0.5. Oh man. Anyhow, um, I was intrigued of all the words that John Cena. I mean, he had the platform, he had a way. And watch this. There's a difference between him and Dominic Mysterio. With Dominic Mysterio, when he talks, everybody boos and they don't care. They don't care. He will never get his message across. When John Cena spoke, yeah, he got booed. But when he was like enough or he said what he ever say, people shut up and listen.
Yes.
You notice that?
He was
You
more
know,
mature about how he went
mhm,
about it because he told the fans, "You're proving my point. The more
right,
you talk, you're proving my point to where I told you so."
right.
See, Dominic is not mature enough to take the crowd control. The
But he
control.
hasn't done anything to earn to
Right,
take that,
right,
right?
right.
I'm just saying, but you're
Hmm.
absolutely right. When everyone's kept booing, whenever he put the mic on the ground, he was about to walk away, then and people reacted. Then he came back. Then he dropped it again. And then you're right. He kept
Right.
saying what he was saying. And these were awesome points.
You want me? I keep it
Awesome
short,
points.
simple.
Say again. What'd you say?
No,
I,
no, I was just
I didn't hear
saying.
you.
No, go
Oh.
ahead. It's good. It was good.
No, you said something, and I guess there's a big pause and stuff on your end, but that's all right. Uh, we'll go ahead and continue on because I had the same conversation with my coworkers today, actually throughout the week, and one thing stood out, especially when we were watching Raw after work, because it was at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I was like, wow, we actually got Monday Night Raw very, very early, right? And he mentioned something about, wow, it seems like this is Toy Story, the movie, because Cody Rhodes is Buzz Lightyear to Cena, who is Woody. Okay. And what is your thoughts on that right there of comparing the characters with Toy Story the movie? Okay, I think I lost Hector on this. Yeah, he'll come back. He'll probably notice that his stuff is not working right now. But okay, I'll continue on because again, as Cena laid his emotions bare, Cody Rhodes stepped in and he didn't yell or attack Cena. He seemed to just challenging, right? He said, "People might have given you their worst, but they also gave you their best." That's a great quote, right? But Rhodes was not just addressing Cena, but reminding the fans why they loved him in the first place. And he questioned Cena's identity, asking, "Who the hell are you? Where is the guy on this shirt?" Now, he may have wanted John Cena as the original John Cena. However, I think Cody Rhodes needs to remember where he comes from. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna put it this way. Okay. When Cody Rhodes left and he said what he had to say, John Cena didn't say nothing. But John Cena is going to appear again on Monday Night Raw on Monday. This time the start time is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if Cody Rhodes makes his presence, believe me, that John Cena is going to make a comeback. Okay. He is definitely going to make a comeback. And John Cena is going to continue to dismiss or diss the WWE universe. But it's now time to play that game. And Cody Rhodes, I don't think is ready for that game. I don't think he's ready to go battle mic to mic. And it's not gonna be that one little what he say hush or whatever it is he said to tell somebody to shut up. And oh, enough. That's what he said. Enough. They ain't gonna be enough. Matter of fact, Cody Rhodes is not gonna have enough to battle on the mic against John Cena.
There's no way he can do that. I'm sorry.
No,
He
absolutely not.
he's already Cody Rhodes has already proven that that John Cena is already under his skin. He's allowing his frustrations and his emotions get the best of him. So Cody has no control of the situation. John Cena has all the control right now because of
Mhm.
his mic skills. To me, the only one that really can battle John Cena on the mic is CM Punk. I'm
Yeah,
serious.
and I think that his last match might be with CM Punk,
I
but
mean,
that's another story
yeah,
because a
but
lot of people want him versus Randy Orton, right? But it doesn't feel like it's a Orton and Cena type deal. I think it's more of Punk and Cena because how everything happened at the Elimination Chamber.
you're absolutely right, and I take none away from that. That is
Mhm.
correct. It's just that Cody is not prepared for battle for WrestleMania. I'm sorry. You're going into this all wrong. Did you not learn the first time when you lost to Roman Reigns? You are not ready
Exactly.
for this.
No.
I mean, who do you think is going to help back you up right now? Everybody is all got themselves all tied up with somebody.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And watch this. You ready? Um, no one's ever seen this version of John Cena anyway, not even Roman Reigns. So John Cena is more lethal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you're right. Like you're jumping in something and your approach is the same way like any other superstar, but you can't be the same. You know what I'm saying? Like your opponents, when you're facing your opponents, it's like a UFC fighter or a boxer, right? You can't do the same moves over and over again. You got to come up with something natural. You gotta like deliberately plan to fight against your opponent. And I don't see it from Cody Rhodes.
No, I don't either. And even if Cody thinks he's going to have the upper hand, The Rock still has an ace up his sleeve. This is Vegas, right? This is
Mm,
Vegas. He's got an ace up that sleeve
yep.
to where he's putting Cody in a checkmate situation again. I mean,
Hmm.
he is obsessed with him for the third consecutive year. I mean, good Lord, he is, you
Right.
know. And so the way he sees it, it's tied 1-1. But he feels like he's going to get Cody this time.
I think so too. I do believe it. I do believe it. I do believe right as of right now, John Cena will be the 17-time world champion. I really
This
do.
there's
And it'll
nothing
be a
saying.
big disappointment if it doesn't happen.
Right,
Okay. Look at Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan won the world championship and spray painted NWO on it.
right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no telling what's gonna happen if when John Cena wins this title. And again, it'll be a extreme disappointment if he doesn't. Right?
The one thing I did like what Cena said was, you are expecting change. You're expecting something different, new music, new look. He had me thinking, yeah, I am. But we don't deserve that. You're going to get what you see right now, just with a
Hmm.
different attitude. And I didn't
Right.
see it. I didn't see it from that perspective. I'm
Mm.
like everybody else. I want to see some new music because he said he had new music and
Yes,
everything.
he did.
But maybe they're trying to throw a curveball in this. You're gonna get this same John Cena t-shirt, jeans. Even he still did the towel thing.
Hmm.
You see, so it's like, but with a different attitude.
Still promoting his retirement.
Right, exactly.
Why would you be different? Why do you have to be different? Why can't you be that person?
Right,
You accept who you are. And if
right,
you don't like it, look the other way.
right. Yeah. People still buying his merch.
Yeah, I might be one of them soon. Who knows? But hey, you know, you got to accept what the cards is dealt for you. But that's not the same on the other side with Rhea Ripley because she feels like she was cheated because of interference with Bianca Belair during her world title match and when she lost the belt to Io Sky. But in this case, I feel as though, hey, Rhea Ripley, you was you should be accountable for your own actions.
Exactly. Exactly.
Did Bianca Belair get in the ring? Did she do anything to distract the referee? No. You were busy talking, running your mouth, paying attention what's outside the ring, and didn't do nothing in the ring. Seems like she and Drew McIntyre are on the same page.
It seems like it. I mean, Rhea Ripley got to think. Hasn't she done that before? Come on,
Hmm.
it's nothing new. So yeah, you're right. Taking responsibility for your own actions and stop blaming people for your failures and your shortcomings is what she
Hmm.
has to realize. That's her own fault, and now she wants to inject herself in this match to try to get back what she felt was unjustly, which it was justly. Io Sky beat her fair and square.
Yeah. I mean, look, you took your eye off the ball
Mm-hmm.
and you struck out. And that's what happens. Okay. And that's a baseball terminology to where you can't hit the ball unless you see the ball connecting with your bat. And for Rhea Ripley, okay, she 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 took Io Sky lightly. She really did. She thought she had the upper hand, and in reality, she did, but she didn't finish the job. Now she's interfering. They had a brawl outside the arena, backstage. It's going to be a triple threat match.
Yeah, we already
Okay.
knew that. Yeah.
Yeah, Real Ripley went to sign it on top of their signatures. And even though that doesn't count because her signature block wasn't on there, but after all that brawl and everything else, everyone is going to want a piece of each other. Okay. Io Sky is a deserving champion. She really is. She's worked hard. She battled neck to neck. She's beaten these people before. Okay. She was an NXT champion for a reason.
And she beat Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair in the triple threat.
Yeah. So in this case, right now, I don't see this title changing hands at WrestleMania. Not yet.
Right.
Okay. I feel like everyone's pointing fingers at Bianca Belair winning to become the next champion. I feel like the more you think is going to happen, it's not. And I
Right.
think the factor is that if they make a triple threat match, that it'll be Bianca and Rhea handling their business, but Io Sky is going to have the last laugh when she backflips and lands on them for the win
Yeah.
because they're not respecting the champ. And when you don't respect the champ, that's when you lose.
Because they're making it all about themselves, you know? And when you do that, you take your focus off the real prize, which is the champion. You and I are arguing about I'm going to be champion. You say no, you're going to be the champion. Well, are we even paying attention to the champion?
Mm,
You know.
right.
So
Or is it because she doesn't speak the same language as you do? That's why? I mean, look, how many times in our workplace that you think that you're better to someone because that person doesn't speak your language or is not that proficient in your language? Now all of a sudden, you're really segregating them, right? Or you're discriminating them
mhm,
because of who they are. And there's no respect to Io Sky. And Io Sky is going to make them realize, don't mess with me.
for real, exactly.
For real, for real. But speaking about that, we got the Street Profits, brand new tag team champions on SmackDown, and they main evented SmackDown, which was pretty awesome. But from the start, since their return, they were adamant of winning those titles. And every time they were getting cheated, every time there was distraction, every time they come close, something happens. And finally, they got the job done.
Well deserved. It's been several years since they've been tag team champions, and wow.
But there's a lesson learned on this though. Okay. And here's why. All this time, remember that they got attacked and everything else. And they always thought that the Hispanics were doing it. Legado del Fantasma did it. They were believed by DIY that they did it, right? And why would we do it? We're the champions. We got why? And it took Apollo Cruz to tell them, hey man, y'all got played. And why is that? Why? Because you were angry. Because you were so tunnel vision. How many times put yourself in a situation? How many times you've been upset and you were mad? Can you think straight when you're mad?
It clouds your judgment. Yeah.
And they were so fixated on Legado del Fantasma. And that's why, I got to respect the Santo Escobar. Because when he does something, he going to let you know.
Yeah.
If anybody follows Santo Escobar's career from NXT to the main roster, when he snaps his fingers for an attack, he gonna remind you, yeah, that's right, it was me.
Yeah. He's going to
And
take
he
credit
didn't
for
do
what he
that.
did. Right.
Yeah, he didn't do that.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened with the stuff he went through with Rey Mysterio and all that. Look, I didn't attack you. Go ahead and blame me. Go ahead, but it wasn't me. Feel like that song, it wasn't me from Shaggy.
But it actually was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But yeah. But anyhow, so there's plenty of lessons learned of the Street Profits. Now, did they persevere? Absolutely. Did they perform with resilience during the match? Absolutely. And they got the job done. And congratulations to the Street Profits. The question is, how long will they stay champion? Because there's a lot of hungry tag teams out there. Well, I can't say a lot. There's only three. There's only three on SmackDown. Okay. But who is DIY probably will want their rematch. Like, I want those titles back. Maybe. Right. Who else we got there?
Well, you got Pretty Deadly, who are the number one contenders.
Pretty Deadly. I'm starting to like them.
I know it. I see a change in them, and they
Yeah,
starting.
like they're more like they were used and abused, and they realized we got used and abused, and now they're trying to find their way back. And I
Right.
like it. I
Yes.
do. But how would they be able to win these titles?
with assistance. I mean, I don't think they could beat
No,
the
I
Street
don't think
Profits
so.
clear. I don't think they
I
could
don't.
beat them clean.
I do. I do. I don't know if they're a baby face because they're really getting the crowd. They love their music.
You're
They
right.
love
They
what they're
are.
doing backstage. It's kind of hilarious sometimes. Um, I think that I would love to see them fair and square versus the Street Profits for the tag team championships at WrestleMania.
If that was to happen, I feel like it's just going to be a one-hit wonder with the Pretty Deadly. Get the titles one time and then they're going to drop it, never to see them ever again. I just feel that that's how they are. But you're right. They're cleaning up their act. They're taking things more serious, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the way it should be. And that's what's going to make their name relevant. They're going to be pretty deadly if you start taking them seriously.
Mm.
Hmm.
Look at
Hmm.
you. Look at you.
Pin drop.
Pin drop. Bow. All right, around the WWE. Yeah, I like this because we could get to talk about all these things that's going on. But first, let's go find out the facts first on what's really going on with WrestleMania. We'll start off with the main event will be the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes defending his undisputed WWE championship against the challenger seeking to be a 17-time world champ, John Cena. Definitely, we're gonna. That is part of our takeaway. We'll also have the as of right now, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair for the Women's World Championship, which might be changing to a triple threat match with Rhea Ripley. Also, we haven't really talked a lot about this because the fact that eh, this is this story is a little dying for me. But it is Gunther, the WWE champion, to defend his title, the heavyweight championship, defended with Jay Uso. Okay, I feel like this is too predictable, but it is what it is. And then Tiffany Stratton defends her title against Charlotte Flair, which, man, I'll tell you what, it's not suiting well for me with this because the fact that Charlotte Flair is being a bully and she's doing most of the harassment on this. And sooner or later, she's going to get that taste, right? It's going to happen back at her. But besides the point, really, this part of the WrestleMania match card is not attractive enough compared to the other side when you got Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley.
Oh yeah, SmackDown side of it is kind of dull, and I think for the better part of this, they need to mix things up because if you put SmackDown on one night, you're going to lose ratings. There's really not going a lot going on there, And you're right. What else can we see going on over there? Yeah, we know Randy Orton is back. Kevin Owens is still running amok. It just what is there else to talk about on the SmackDown? There really isn't.
No,
There
no.
isn't.
You got a point there with I'm sorry, with Randy Orton and possible you just mentioned him.
Kevin
Yeah.
Owens.
Yeah, Kevin Owens. I can see that's a WrestleMania match card, right? Um but yeah, I just don't see any other updates. LA Knight. Who's LA Knight going to challenge for the United States title?
Right, because I think right now we're looking at Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. And that right there, I'm glad. Okay, light bulb. That's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what it was. Because you had mentioned to me a while back, was there something about a blog, and now the light bulb hit me. It was all about Drew McIntyre. This dude, I swear, he's on a whole different level when you call it about. He's a poster boy for crybabies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for him to sit there and blame Damian Priest for his failures, dude, you set yourself up for failure.
But why would you blame him if especially at the Royal Rumble, like it's everyone for themselves and you just got caught up.
Well, let's date it back to WrestleMania when you won the title. Why don't you just walk away? Why you got to continue agging things on, and then you're not blaming CM Punk, you're blaming Damian Priest for losing the title. He's just cashing in like anybody else would.
Drew McIntyre was capable of beating Damian Priest should he would have kept his guard up,
Right.
but he
Yeah.
didn't.
Right. And then
He-
he wants to blame him. Oh, I was about to pin John Cena in the Elimination Chamber, but he wants to pin, roll up. Dude, it's every man for themselves.
yeah.
Man, I
There's
got the
always a
Wemby.
crybaby though. There's always a complainer.
Let me get. I think I got the Wambulance phone number on my phone.
Oh, there you go.
I'll give it to him because, dude, he's
You know
another
how many
one.
times at work that you like people always like get pissed off because their supervisor said this, we want it done this way, and then they always want to kind of like, if we would have done this, would have been better, and blah 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 blah. I'm like,
Yeah.
really, dude? You're getting paid to do the job, so do the job.
Right.
Drew McIntyre, stop complaining and do your job. How many times have you been in the ring and you almost had that victory, but then you want to gloat about it? You want to show
Right.
off about it. The same thing happened with him and Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
Jimmy
Exactly.
beat him. Why
Right.
didn't you finish him when you had the opportunity?
Right. And going back real quick to LA Knight, I'm thinking now between Fatu and Us and Jimmy, this could be maybe, LA Knight's next opponent or opponents. We don't need another triple threat match. No, we don't need that many. I'm sorry.
No, but it seems fitting that Jacob Fatu could be the guy to challenge LA Knight at WrestleMania because they've had history.
Yeah.
And now that Shinsuke Nakamura is out of the picture,
Right.
then maybe we could get Fatu involved in there. And he is well deserved to be a champion.
I get it. I just feel
Mhm.
like Jimmy Uso is long overdue, maybe himself. I think a one-time wonder. I'm okay with that. Let him get that
Yeah.
time. But see, you got Braun Strowman, who's not done with Fatu.
Oh, yeah, that's another one. Saying you talking about there's nothing going on SmackDown and you just making a list of everything now.
Yeah, you're right. I know.
Yeah.
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 Let me talk to you. But see,
Oh, man.
that's the thing. It is
Mhm.
so dull that you overlook those things. You forget about those things.
Yeah.
We remember what goes on Raw easier than we
Mhm.
do on SmackDown. We have to talk about it for it to come back to our remembrance, and that's what I don't like about SmackDown. The storylines are not intriguing enough to remember throughout the week for me to look forward to the
Because we're
following.
surrounded with Raw and everything in it that
Yes.
we forget SmackDown, right?
Yep.
And that's why you got to tune into the HHW Show website because the fact that I still do talk about it. How about them apples?
Okay, with Carlito now. We got the map.
Orale. No, Carlito. Oh, man. Speaks with me about that. Let's go ahead and talk about Raw because is it me or is it that Carlito still has a crush on Raquel Rodriguez?
Boy, he's barking up the wrong tree. You better be
Nah,
careful.
I'm just
I
saying.
know it. I know it. He
Yeah.
got something for the Amazons.
And the Amazon.
Hey, if she's taller than me, she's an Amazon.
Oh, there you go. Nah, then the Judgment Day. It seems like now the it's getting worse for Finn Balor.
Yes, it is.
He had an opportunity to win the Intercontinental Championship. They had a great plan, but it backfired because Dominic Mysterio went ahead and moved the ropes for some reason, made Braun Breaker fall, but at the same time, Finn Balor, landed on his nuts and stuff. So he was hurting for a while. And
Yeah,
then that allowed Breaker to come back and do what he had to do for the win. And he kept looking at Dominic Mysterio. I was like, dude, this is your fault.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. That's why I think Dominic has a trick up his sleeve with that ex member or whatever. We
Oh,
don't know.
so I started laughing because first of all, I was not expecting him to call out Penta, right? To be one of the members of Judgment Day. And I'm like, dude, like, how could that work if he wants the Intercontinental Championship? And then Finn Balor mentions it. I'm like, oh, Dominic's an idiot. Like, he doesn't know what is going on. I don't think they have a plan. They're just searching and searching, but he's adamant enough that he wants another member of Judgment Day. And I have a feeling that if it was to happen, simultaneously Finn Balor is going to disengage Judgment Day. I think he's going to be out.
We've seen this story already. Not once,
Mhm.
not twice, but three times already.
I think that what will happen is I don't think one member should be. I think two should just appear out of nowhere, and Dominic Mysterio is going to lead the Judgment Day. There's going to be a new sheriff in town in that faction.
With Liv Morgan at the helm of leading the whole situation.
Absolutely.
I mean, she fits the bill to run Judgment Day and
Hmm.
keep this faction going. Because
Right.
I never seen a faction get started and then oust out the leader, oust out the second person you recruited, and then the third person, and still exist.
I
I mean,
know.
it's like,
I know. It's like the new chapter.
yeah,
There's right. Exactly. Edge left, then
Priest,
the priest, Rhea Ripley kind of left simultaneously.
and then
Right.
now Finn Balor, pretty much.
Pretty much, I think he's out the window. I
Yeah,
really do. Yeah.
hmm
That's crazy.
it is.
And of
So,
all people, Dominic Mysterio, really?
yeah, tell me about it.
Damn, he got to shave first, man. That his mustache is killing me. I'm
But
sorry.
is it almost safe to say that could be the next in line for the Intercontinental title?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Not the
I,
next champion, but next in line.
he claimed it. He already called him out, and Braun Breaker is not one of those guys that's gonna back out. I
Right.
think, especially when they're standing face to face. I think if anything, Braun Breaker gave him that respect for that stare down.
Right.
He didn't try to attack. He didn't do nothing. It is what it is. And quite frankly, Penta is undefeated.
In one-on-one single matches,
Single
yeah.
match. He only got one loss. That was a triple threat match,
Right.
right? But if you think about it, Penta did most of the work.
Right. Exactly. No, you're right.
Yeah.
That was to protect him. I get it.
Right.
So I don't fault him for that.
Hmm.
That wasn't on him. Yeah, you're right. So this for Braun Breaker, this is going to be a challenge. You're taking on somebody of the luchador style. This is not going to be easy. You may have the power, the strength, but do you have the speed and agility over this guy? This guy is something else.
But would Ludwig Kaiser be involved? Just to say, well, I won the triple threat match. How can you deserve a Intercontinental Championship? I deserve it. Or are we gonna get like a stipulation? Whoever becomes the number one contender for the IC title, I can see that happening
Yeah, that's more feasible to see. With
because it's already a triple threat match. You don't want all these matches triple threat matches.
no, it gets boring. No, no,
Yeah. Hmm.
no. I could see that, and then I could see still Penta winning that to get the shot. Because now you're also looking at, okay, let's go back to SmackDown. Selena Vega making her presence known for the United States title.
Hmm.
And so it's like, well, okay. Fresh meat in the picture now. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get it. I like it. But you
Yep.
taking that title off of Chelsea Green is going to be tough since now she's got Secret Services coming out of the wazoo.
Oh yeah, man. I was like, wow, wow. Like, okay, I'm seeing
that
it now.
that was a surprise. I did not see that one coming.
Me either. Me
Gee,
either. But
wow, was
I do see this coming real soon before we start doing the takeaway. Is no other than Wrestling with Character. It's a springtime shenanigans that's happening this Sunday, March 23rd. So if you're in the Connecticut area or outskirts, by all means, yo, check it out. This Sunday at the VFW Post 511, New Britain, Connecticut, is no other than Wrestling with Character featuring formerly known WWE superstar Enzo Amore. He is the real one. It's pro wrestling like you've never experienced. They got sketch comedy, action-packed wrestling, all the sound, visual effects, singing and dancing, and of course, most importantly, what's different about this is that there is audience participation. Everybody's in. As soon as you walk in, everyone's in character, including you. That's right. So please go on their website, wrestlingwithcharacterlive.com. Get your tickets. It's Sunday, March 23rd at the VFW Post 511. I will be there. and a lot more. I'm telling you what, it's almost sold out. You got to go ahead and check it out. Presented by Ken's Cards. It is Wrestling with Character. Oh, dude, I love it. I love this show, man. I love Wrestling with Character. I can't wait this Sunday. Like I said before the show, I texted him and said, "Hey, what you doing, man?" And he was like, "Yo, we're packing, getting ready for this show." So I'm excited. We'll be there. Definitely gonna take a lot of pictures, and of course, you can see them all afterwards on hhwshow.com. We're now featuring our takeaway. And listen, this is very daring to me because this is the purpose of our show. The purpose of the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show is getting out what messages is there and related to the real world. Okay. And I'm gonna start off a little bit different here, but this is focusing on John Cena's comments that he made on Monday Night Raw last Monday. And there's a quote here that says, when someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. Okay. Now, with many people just booing and everything else, let's understand this quote because this quote is so real. Okay. This quote speaks the idea of self reliance and internal validation. Essentially, it means that when you have a strong, secure sense of who you are, your values, beliefs, and worth, you don't need to depend on the opinions or approval of others to feel confident or complete. And here's a breakdown of this key point. And first, grounded in life. Okay. Being properly grounded suggests that you have built a firm foundation in your personal life. This could involve understanding your own beliefs, having a stable relationship, or feeling secure in your personal and professional identity. Okay. Let's talk about internal approval and external approval. When you've secured yourself, you naturally rely on your own inner voice for affirmation rather than consistently seeking external validation. It implies that the need for external praise or acceptance diminishes when you trust and value yourself. Okay. And lastly, empowerment and self worth. The quote underscores the empowerment that comes from self acceptance. If you have confidence in your own judgment and worth, you are less likely to be swayed by negative opinions or approval from others. And what does all this mean? You ever been in a situation that maybe you'll feel a little bit nervous? Maybe it's the new leadership style, or maybe it's a new job, or maybe there's something that you want to do. But then there's that other person there that's stopping you or saying something negative. Like, man, I don't know. You ain't gonna make it. Or you say things like that that prevents you. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe, maybe another time. How many of you guys know that person? Or maybe yourself. Have you ever been in that situation? Well, this quote tells you, listen, be confident of yourself. Who cares what everybody else is saying? You have to follow your path. Hector, carry on.
Look, you're absolutely right, 100% on the dot there. I mean, there was a quote that I've heard before. It says, "Never allow yourself to be defined by someone else's opinion of you." You know what I'm saying? You're right. When you are grounded on a firm foundation and that solid foundation of what you believe in and what you stand for, whatever what other people say and do, it doesn't matter. It also goes back to what people like to also say. Well, if I was you or if I was in your shoes, I would do it like
Mm,
that. You know what? But you're not. You see, and that's what
mhm,
makes us different. That's what makes me unique from you. I have different, talents and gifts and abilities that makes me who I am. And if you don't find approval of it, then that does not matter for me. As long as I see the worth in myself and I can see my success and I can learn from my failures, that's all that matters to me. You see what I'm saying? I don't need no approval from any other human being out there. I'm sorry. You know, if I want your opinion, I will ask you because that's only because I see value in you. You and I have that relationship, and I will value because you have shown me and you've proven to me that what you say has value to it. So I will come to you if I need it. You and I have known each
Mm.
other for a long time. And if I needed some advice about something, I know I can come to you because your opinion will matter to a certain point, and I would take it for what it's worth. But I'm
Right.
just not going to do that with anybody. So, John Cena is right on that. You know what I'm saying? He has grounded himself in life properly over the last 2 decades, since he's been in the business, so why should he look for approval from anybody else,
Exactly. 25 plus years, and he's done it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
And Triple H validate his career as him being the GOAT,
Right.
right? In the essence, the quote encourages building internal strength and self-belief so that your sense of worth isn't consistently challenged or dependent on others' perception. And that leads to our final quote that he said in his Monday Night Raw, right? And that is, you get what you have earned. What you earned is nothing. Harsh, harsh. This quote carries a blunt and possibly harsh message about effort, results, entitlement. And I'm going to break this down to you. You get what you earn. This suggests that in life, success, rewards, or outcomes are directly tied to the effort, work, and dedication you put in. It implies a cause and effect relationship between actions and results. But what you earn is nothing. Well, this this suggests that based on your effort and contributions, you haven't done enough to deserve anything in return. It implies that no significant effort was put in or that what it was done wasn't sufficient to yield results. So what does when you put this in combination, you hear that in one way, when you put all your effort and you give it your all, you're going to get what you got coming. Maybe you win a trophy, right? I like this as a cross country race. You're running 3.1 miles, or you're running a 5K or a 10K, and you're putting that effort. How? Because you're practicing every single day, maybe 2, 3 times a day. And you're running and you're running. You're doing all kinds of speed training and you're doing all this long distance running for the time that there's the event. And then you go out there and you handle your business. And wherever place you are in, that's what you deserve. Did you finish in first place? Congratulations. Did you finish in fifth place? Well, congratulations. Okay. I picked that because one, that is very hard to do. It is a single man sport. And I don't say man as a gender. I'm just saying
Right.
it's an individual sport, right? That is between you and yourself. Can you start and finish the race? And depending how much training you got, you're going to deserve what you get. But on the other side, if you earn nothing, well, you didn't try. You think that it's going to be automatic. You didn't put that effort. You didn't study. You didn't tough it out like you're supposed to. Or maybe you just crying like a little baby. You complain a lot. Well, you're going to get what you deserve.
No, you're right. And, going back to that first part, you get what you have earned. That's even with the consequences in life. You know,
Yeah,
the negative consequences, whatever you did, you're going to get what you earned for that. You know, whether it's just and fair or not, you got to take the good with the bad. If you do something bad in life, you're going to get what you deserve, what you earn for that.
right.
You
It's a
know,
reality check, man.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a reality check,
And
right?
you have to take accountability for your own actions. You have to
Oh,
be responsible for that, and just accept it and learn from that mistake. And we already see that with certain superstars that we've talked about already on the show that doesn't do that. So
absolutely. And listen, you just got to challenge yourself.
right,
Now a lot of people want to challenge themselves. A lot of people want to like gimme, 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 but don't earn it, earn it, earn it. And John Cena is right. Okay. That's what's going on in our world today, right? You got to give me it. Give me, give me, give me, give me. Maybe that's something that John Cena was reflecting on of all the times he used to do charity. All the times it's like, oh, John Cena's going to be here. What we're going to get? What we're going to get? What we're going to get? And he was being very sarcastic about it. But what if that's the real deal? Okay. Look, there's only so much you could have a person do. For one, I'm gonna say right now, if John Cena was to walk in here, the only respect I have, I'm gonna shake his hand and say, "Hey, how you doing?" That's the first thing that should be coming out of your mouth. John Cena's here. All right, I'm waiting for you to give me something. No, it doesn't work that way because, like he said, he is a human being, just like
Yes.
us. It's an occupation for him. We have an occupation, right? So, in other words, we need to push yourself. You need to step up, work hard, rethink your approaches because if you don't do enough, you get what you deserve.
And with John Cena, I can honestly say he's been very selfless. He hasn't always been about the give me, give me, give me, it's all about me attitude. He has given a lot sacrificially. You know what I'm saying? And in order to get to where you need to go in life, sometimes you have to take a step back and give. You have to be able to sacrifice in order for you to see results. And John Cena did not become 16-time world champion just because he was being selfish. He was
Mm-hmm.
being selfless by giving back to the community and to his peers. We've talked about so many times that he's put so many people over. Okay, and he's how many times he has mentioned that he has not won a match in how long? You see what I'm saying? Like
Right,
he's been on this yearly drought. But that doesn't define who he is. It just goes to show that hey, he gives back. He helps those develop those who is the future of the business. You see, so he gives back inside the ring and outside the ring. So I give the man that. I really do.
right.
So for him to become 17-time champion is well deserved. You see what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And this is coming from
Absolutely.
someone who doesn't like the character John Cena, but he is well deserving of it because he's earned my respect because of what he's done. You see what I'm saying? I mean, from getting breaking into the business, almost getting fired, and then redeeming himself and always giving back and
Always giving back.
earning the respect of those in and around the ring. It's just amazing who John Cena is. He's always been himself. Never had, well, of course, yeah, okay. Everybody starts off with a weird gimmick, but he was always John Cena. He
Yeah.
will always be John Cena.
He ruthless aggression and that followed him throughout his whole entire career.
Right.
you know. So hey, let's talk about it. You want to continue to talk about this? Leave your comments. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to the HHW Show, the hard hitting wrestling show, and visit the website hhwshow.com for more on the WWE content. And of course, Hector and I and Frank next week, you can catch us here on our YouTube channel and Facebook and wherever you listen to your favorite podcast platform. Thank you very much, everyone. Let's enjoy another week of some wrestling. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.